and one gets in which loves spreading itself around, it can become a nuisance. It might seem a bit strange to think about plants as being thugs, but some of them undoubtedly are. On the other hand, there are some plants which can take over large chunks of your garden, but when they're grown in just the right place, nothing can compare with them. Take Japanese anemones as an example. When you see them en masse, just having the whole place to themselves, they're absolutely gorgeous. But in the wrong place, they will spread and spread and spread. They won't stop anything else from growing. They'll mix and mingle, but they really want to sort of steal the show. And sometimes you don't even notice the other plants that are amongst them. They get this spreading habit because of where they come from. They're edge of woodland plants, and they send out their roots just under the surface of the soil. No matter how often you try and take them out, they'll always come back, because you've always left a bit of root there. Mind you, I do think they're glorious. Another plant that can be really pesky, although again it's extremely beautiful, is geranium nodosum. Now I'm always singing the praises of geraniums, but geranium nodosum just puts itself about absolutely everywhere. It seeds very, very freely, and it comes up in the most annoying places. In this garden, Alice's garden, everything's supposed to be pink and white and crimson, and bluish purples really, really do stand out, and that's exactly the colour of the flowers of geranium nodosum. It spreads itself about because it seeds everywhere, and it really flings those seeds around, so you can see it gradually, year by year, advancing through a flower bed. On the other hand, when you examine one of its flowers with these beautiful velvety petals, you almost feel like forgiving it. Well, some nuisance or invasive plants are quite short, but there are a few which are absolute giants. Macleia cordata, the plume poppy, is just such a plant. I no longer have it in my garden. I got rid of it. It just took up too much space and put other plants in the shade. It was quite difficult to get rid of, and of course none of us use herbicide, so you just have to keep removing the roots over and over and over again. But if you've got space, it really is the most magical plant, with these great big scalloped leaves with white reverses. It's marvellous on a windy day too, when these great plumes of flower just light the place up. I'm not supposed to be extolling it and praising it, am I? I'm supposed to be telling you what a nuisance it can be. Well, it's both, like most plants. I have never planted acanthus, and yet, come midsummer, you'll see the tall spires of its beautiful flowers just all over the show. That's because it has these big, wonderful roots which just spread underground. I can remember once when it had popped up here. Heaven knows how it got here. It was probably a seedling in a different pot of something else that I'd deliberately bought. But once it got going, that was it. I asked somebody to try and remove it, and literally he dug down to about 3 or 4 feet and was still coming across acanthus roots. So if you're going to plant it, either make sure it's in a place where its growth can be curtailed, where it can't spread beyond the boundaries, or just accept that it's going to send up these glorious sort of green spires and those wonderfully spiky, glossy green leaves all over the show. I'm always praising wildflowers and encouraging people to grow them at every opportunity. But occasionally, especially if you've got a very deliberate planting scheme, and one gets in which loves spreading itself around, it can become a nuisance. Red campion is just such a plant. I love it, the insects adore it, but very often I let it get away with it. It puts out these branching stems loaded with flowers, and the bees and other pollinators absolutely adore it. But if it comes up in the middle of a bed where you've got a very specific planting scheme or colour scheme, for instance, in my blue and yellow garden, the brick garden, it can be a thumping nuisance. We've got campion all over the show. What happens is that I usually just let it flower and then get in as quickly as I can and pull it out. So the bees have their fill, I can enjoy those pink flowers while they're there, and then that's the end of it, for that season anyway.